Hey guys, welcome to a new video. So today I wanted to talk about all of the books that I read in August. And so in August I only read 5 books and one of them was a graphic novel. So in June and July I had read 10 books in each month. So I slowed down quite a bit in August. So yeah, I just wanted to tell you how I liked it, like what books I read and how I liked them. So here are the books that I read in August. So the first book that I finished in August was Saga Volume 1 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. And so this book is the graphic novel that I read, and it is about a couple that you see on the cover from 2 different planets. And these planets are at war, so it's kind of about their relationship. It's about more than that, but that's the best synopsis that I can give, that it's kind of about them, and they have a child, so it's about their child, and it's actually narrated by their child, so that's pretty cool. I wanted to give a warning that this does have like quite a bit of like sexual stuff and nudity and violence in language, so if that kind of thing bothers you, or if you're like younger and your parents don't approve or something like that, then I would be wary of this. But besides that, I really enjoyed this book and I thought it was hilarious. There were so many like funny scenes that happened, in my opinion, and I really liked the art style, and the story was awesome. It really held my attention and it was really interesting, and the characters too I really enjoyed, because I thought they had some depth to them and stuff like that, and they were interesting and funny. And I didn't really know what to expect from this because I had never read a graphic novel before, so I was really happy with how I liked this. And also, since I had never read a graphic novel before, I was worried that I wouldn't really be able to get into the story or something like that, but I really enjoyed this, so I can't wait to continue reading these graphic novels. I also forgot to mention that I read this book during the Booktubeathon, which took place from July 30th until August 5th, so this is the first book that I finished in the Booktubeathon, and I really liked it. I gave it a 5 stars. The next book that I finished in the month of August was Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Laini Taylor, and I also read this book during the Booktubeathon, and I actually started it before I read Saga, but I finished it after I read Saga. So this book is the 3rd book in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy by Laini Taylor, and it was pretty interesting. So the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy is about this art student in Prague, and she had like her hair comes out of her head naturally blue, and then there are handprints just appearing on doorways. So that's really all the synopsis gives about the Daughter of Smoke and Bone book, and so that's all I feel like I should say on here, because I don't want to give any spoilers or anything. So yeah, but I enjoyed this book, but it was a little bit hard for me to focus on it and pay attention and keep interested in it. It felt a little slow during the first half, and I don't know if that's because it was actually slow, or if it's because usually when I read my books I have to read like a little bit at a time. Like I only have time to read a chapter or 2 instead of sitting down and reading for a while. I have time to do that on the weekends, but usually during the week I only have time to read like a few minutes at a time. So I don't know if it was something about that, where this is just a story that you need to be immersed in the whole time instead of just reading a little bit here and there. But after the first half I really enjoyed it a lot more, so during the second half it held my attention a lot better, and it really picked up, and it didn't seem as slow or anything to me, if that makes sense at all. So yeah, I really liked the characters a lot throughout the whole trilogy, and I really liked them still in this book, and I think I liked them a lot more or I just enjoyed getting to know them more. So yeah, I gave this book 4 stars mostly because of the first half being a little bit slow for me. So the next book that I read in August was Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch, and this book was about a girl who goes to Italy as her mother's dying wish, and when she's there she meets a boy and falls in love. And it took me a little bit to get into it at first, but once I got into it, I was into it, and I really enjoyed it. And I also wanted to say that some things between Lena and Ren, so Lena is the main character and Ren is the love interest, and so some things between them felt rushed, because I think this book only took place over like 1 or 2 weeks, so some things in their romance just felt rushed. So I think I would have liked it more if it would have taken place over a longer period of time. So yeah, but I did still really like them, and I thought they were both good enough characters, and they were cute, and I really loved Howard, who is the kind of like father figure for Lena, but I really liked him a lot. So I gave this book a 4.25 stars, which is getting really specific, but I didn't think it deserved quite a 4 stars because I liked it more than other books that I've rated 4 stars. I don't know, but not quite a 4.5. So 4.25. The next book that I read in August is The Secret of the Old Clock by Carolyn Keene. Well, this book is the first book in the Nancy Drew series, which I've been wanting to reread recently. So I started in August, and so I read the first one, and I have all of them, so I've been wanting to reread them. Anyways, the Nancy Drew books are about an amateur sleuth who's a teenager, Nancy Drew, and she helps her dad, who is a lawyer, solve cases using her amateur sleuthing skills. But with this book, I could definitely tell that it was written for children, which is fine because it is a children's book. But because of that, it seemed a little bit like predictable or boring sometimes, just because it was written for a much younger audience than me. But I still really enjoyed it despite it being predictable and stuff, and it was really nostalgic for me, and I liked, it was written probably during the 1950s or something like that, so you can kind of see the difference in like culture between now and then, so I think that's really cool. And then these are just really nostalgic for me because I read them as a kid, and they were like one of the first series that I was obsessed with. So I gave this book 4 stars. And finally, the last book that I read during August was Fury Born by Claire Legrand, and this book is about 2 different queens who exist during like 2 different time periods in this world. Excuse me. And one of them is a sun queen, and one of them is a blood queen, and one has the power to save the world, and the other has the power to destroy the world. And I really liked this book. I thought it was really easy to read, and sometimes it was a little bit predictable, but not like all the time, just occasionally. And I really enjoyed reading it the whole time. Like I had a lot of fun reading this book, and I enjoyed both storylines. So since it follows 2 different queens, it has 2 different like storylines or 2 different characters that you read from, and I really liked both of them. And I really liked, there was several supporting characters too, and I really liked all of them. So I really liked this book. I gave it, I'm not sure if it's like a 4.5 maybe, but I think 4.5, yeah. But I think I gave it a 4 stars on Goodreads, but I think it's like maybe like a lower 4.5 instead of a higher 4.5, if that makes sense at all. It's getting really specific. But yeah, so that's Fury Born. So that is all of the books that I read in August. Let me know what books you read in August and if you liked them or not. And you should also let me know if you've read any of the books that I mentioned in this video and how you liked those books. So Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in another video soon. Goodbye!